Pleased certainly with the win. I think Maine, a really good team, very well coached, extremely sound defensively, and their guards and perimeter play can really put pressure on you by getting in the lane. And what was a big thing is we didn't want to have them driving in the lane freely. And I thought for the most part we defended well. Jason Roach just gave us a great lift and then played a great game. He's an excellent defender. He's our best front court defender. And he really, really helped us in a big way tonight. And I thought Delani was great in the second half. So pleased with the win and looking forward to Monday's game in Florida.
Chris, shooting percentage went up in the second half. Turnovers went down. What was the difference in your view that led to that combo?
Well, just moving a little bit better. They switch a fair amount. And, sometimes if the team switches, it can affect you. And then if it puts you on your heels, then it's really effective because then it makes the next decision, pass, cut slower. And I thought we let that happen to us. Whereas in the second half, I thought we were really just moving more confidently, more aggressively. And I think that was really, really important for us. Got us some open shots, got us some open drives. I thought that was really probably the biggest difference for us. Is that we just moved more aggressively, not quite as much thinking, a little bit more, cutting and moving.
The passing also seemed like it didn't stick.
Yeah.
In the second half, was that a point of emphasis also?
Yeah. That's a point of emphasis all the time here, and we're really working at it. I would say the guys are. There's a really great group to be around and coach, and they really have great attitude, and they want to be together, and the effort is great. It just takes time, somebody who's new who makes a mistake, that can't be immediately rectified because the other guy might be new also, and so, this is, but. In terms of how we come out to practice, how we meet with each other, talk with each other, really excellent. So that gives me a lot of confidence and faith moving forward. But there's certainly some possessions there that aren't quite as good as they need to be.
Can you talk about career win number 350?
No, I'm always just so honored to be at Richmond. I think it's just such a special place. It's been so great for my family, and we've had so many great players and coaches here that I appreciate that I've had the opportunity to be here long enough. So, just always humbled by that. If humbled by that kind of stat, because this is a very special place to me, for me, and for my family.
Hey, go ahead, excuse me.
After a couple disappointing losses, to get back in the locker room tonight after a win, was there a sense of relief that the guys finally got back in the win?
Yeah, for sure. I think that basketball is such a long season, and you really, you don't necessarily know when you're going to say, oh, okay, now we're improved. It just takes this every single day. You're trying to improve in practice on the floor in the film room, and so yes, I think that still at the end you need to. You need to have that experience of a close game and make enough plays to win the game and those kinds of things. So that can do a world of, or that can make a world of difference for a team. And tonight, for sure, that's how we felt, and really pleased, and hopefully we can build on it.
Chris, as you look forward to Fort Myers, was this the field you hoped to get in, or did you commit to this tournament and the field kind of created around you?
Yeah, that's hard to say, John. It's just changed so much in the past, like everything in the past 4 or 5 years. The fields used to be set and these things far sooner, and then you could kind of whether choose or politic to try to get in or whatever it was. But they've really changed. They've changed fields very late. Some tournaments have been canceled late. Formats of tournaments have been changed dramatically. So everything's different about it, including this particular tournament. We're excited to be going and really appreciative that we have the opportunity. But this has been an 8-team field, and of course it's not this year. But it's there's just been a drastic change in scheduling in the past 3 or 4 years, just as drastic as everything else, to be honest.
Can you talk about Jonathan Beagle? Seems like the last couple of games especially, he's been more aggressive towards the basket, 23 against Bucknell, double figures here against him.
Yeah. He's going to be a really good player, and he has a chance to be a great player. He can do everything. he's comfortable handling the ball. He's strong. He can score inside. We just want him to be even more aggressive, but he has worked very hard. He's an incredible teammate. So these are all really good qualities for somebody who also has a potential to be a very good player or a great player. So just has to keep doing it because that's a big important place for us as our center, and we just need him to be as aggressive as possible.
You mentioned against Marist, sort of ideally not everything falling on Delani. He's your leader, he's your defender offensively. What was it like to have a little bit more variety in scoring, sort of take that ease off him?
Yeah, no, that's a big thing and what we need. Not only is Delani one of our, if not our best player, but our best competitor, but he's also in his 5th year and he's experienced it. And when you play guard, you play guard your whole life for the most part. So he's able to do that. And the balance is, I'm trying to help him to become even more of a point guard who has a great understanding of the whole game, and we've needed him to be so aggressive. And so, I don't want him to. We want him to continue to be that floor general and really know what's going on, and he's really embraced that. But we've also needed him to be super aggressive, and the more we can balance the scoring, the better it will be for everybody.
What would you like to see improved upon in those 3 games down at
our decision making is just not near where it needs to be right now. I've said maybe I should stop saying it, how good of a shooting team I think we are. I'd like us to just break out and have just a tremendous shooting day. And I think our defense is getting better, noticeably getting better. But on offense, we're just not, we're not as fluid as we'd like to be. We don't make our decisions as quickly as we'd like to make them. And again, that's what we have to just keep hammering away at and keep practicing, and hopefully we'll turn the corner on that.
Jason, clearly you made a little progress in the second half offensively. Where do you think that came? What kind of progress did you make?
Yeah, well,
fewer turnovers.
Yeah, I think that over the last 2 days of practice, we kept stressing that we needed to trust our offense more. Over the past 3 games, I felt like we kind of lost our cool a little bit, strayed from what we do every day in practice. We do dummy O every single day. So I felt like we had better trust in what we do and our principles and everything on offense and defense, and I think that's what led to that.
What was the message at halftime? Because you clearly came out more intense, more effort, especially defensively.
Yeah, well, I think we just had to put an emphasis on taking pride in defending our home court. I think that we had a big letdown in the second half last game, and we had to stress that we couldn't let our guard down, and we had to stay with what our do. I mean, I think that whenever we stay playing Richmond basketball, good things happen, and we don't have to do anything out of ourselves, and that's what we did.
Those first couple of shots for you in the first half went down. Did that turn up the intensity or the aggressiveness for you offensively to keep shooting?
Yeah, well, I think me as a shooter, no matter what, if I miss my first 2, make my first 2, I always have the same mentality. But I think that it does provide a boost for the offense, for the whole team when we do get off to a hot start on, especially from the 3-point line, considering that we struggle a little bit in that area. But for me, I always keep the same mentality. If I'm making missing shots, just do my job. So.
Even with transferring in yourself, you're one of the more tenured players on this roster. What's the message sort of moving forward with non-conference play to the rest of the team?
Yeah, well, I told, especially the younger guys, if there's one thing I've learned in college basketball is that it's not always going to be smooth sailing. That you have to accept that I could have came in with the exact same preparation and gone 0 for 8 tonight. You just have to accept that and trust in what you do and try and be an everyday guy like Jay DeMayo says, and that's what we try and do.
Anything else?
Do you head to Fort Myers with any sort of focused plan, like you'd like to get better in this area? We really need to work on this.
Yeah, well, I think that, kind of referring back to the earlier question, we made some progress on offense, but we're still not to what our max can be. I think that we could get a little bit more crisp on everything that we do, the quickness that we get into the offense. And then on defense, we still had a couple lapses that we need to clean up. So I think we're far from a finished product, obviously, and we're looking forward to those 3 games in Fort Myers.